Have you ever had a teacher that wasn't very clear about what they wanted, and then the words continuously filled the room as that teacher tried unsuccessfully to explain it better? Most people begin to feel like this poor guy underneath a pile of speech bubbles, or they get frustrated, annoyed, sad, confused, etc. This is not good. Teacher clarity is one of the most important skills a teacher can have, as it is central to the overall teaching effectiveness and student learning. What exactly is teacher clarity? Teacher clarity has been defined as a variable which represents the process by which an instructor is able to effectively stimulate the desired meaning of course content and processes in the minds of students through the use of appropriately structured verbal and nonverbal messages, and the teacher's ability to present information in a way that students understand and operationally as a set of specific low inference teaching behaviors. Basically, it just means communicating clearly with your students. There are numerous reasons why teacher clarity is important in the classroom. First and foremost, I assume that we all want our students to learn in our classes. Studies that have looked at the many factors of being a clear teacher have seen a clear connection between clarity and student achievement. Simply put, the better communication you have, the better your students can understand what to do. If I were to tell you to write a paper but did not tell you what to write about, how long it needs to be, how many sources you need, what format to use, so on and so forth, you probably would feel lost and unmotivated. You probably would not learn anything from the assignment either, except that I am an unorganized teacher. And though this is an exaggerated example, the concept still applies. Teacher clarity minimizes the amount of brain work needed to understand a teacher, which allows the student to learn easier. I also came across an interesting fact while studying clarity's effect. Students also think they learn more when they believe their teacher is clear. Even if they aren't learning as much as they think they are, they believe that they are, and they become motivated for the assignments and the course itself. This brings about another reason why clarity is important. Teacher clarity often brings about positive student motivation. Recall my previous example of assigning you an entirely vague paper. You would most likely have no motivation for this assignment at all because you wouldn't know what to do or what I am expecting. Clarity functions to guide students' involvement with the topic and to sustain their interest in that subject. Motivation works hand in hand with clarity. Though clarity alone does not cause a student to feel motivated, clarity certainly elevates the student motivation. The clearer a teacher is, the more motivated a student is to learn. A study showed that student learning was maximized under conditions of high clarity and high motivation. In this same study, under conditions of high clarity, participants who were highly motivated to think deeply about the lecture scored 71% compared with their less motivated counterparts, who scored 49% on the test, measuring their comprehension. That is a whopping 22% difference. Motivation is very important and clarity helps bolster it. Clarity has also been suspected to reduce student anxiety. Test anxiety is an epidemic that sweeps the vast majority of students today. Having high test anxiety can strongly reduce a student's studying, causing them to achieve less on their academics and thereby making tests look like quite the monster. Many researchers believe that the poor performance in academics is largely related to the way students process information from their teachers. Part of being a teacher is presenting information in a way that allows our students to understand and have them not spend all night worrying about the test that looms around the corner. Many researchers have been suspecting that clarity will allow students who suffer from high test anxiety to reduce their anxiousness, since clarity in teaching allows students to process lessons much more efficiently. Speaking from experience, I would highly believe that this is definitely the case. Ever been in a situation where you feel like you have no idea what material to study for your exam in biology the next morning? I know I have. In summary, teacher clarity allows for better student learning, bolsters students' motivation, and minimizes the amount of anxiety that a student experiences. A question remains, though. How do you as a teacher harness the power of clarity? Here's a couple of suggestions. When you start a new topic or project, make sure your students know what the purpose is and what you want them to learn from it. Also make sure that you provide clear instructions on what you are expecting so the students know exactly what to do. If it is a project you are working on, it is always a good idea to present what a finished product might look like. This allows for students to have an image in their head of what to do. There are many more tips and advice like these that other teachers provide all over the internet, so look for them. Clarity is a worthwhile practice and is essential to what it means to be a good teacher.